Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Political Brown Kid here. I just want to make just a comment on this whole Fani Willis situation that's going on in Atlanta. I guess she's involved in a. I don't even know if she was the procuring cause of the breakup or dissolution of the marriage with the individual that she was having an affair with. Maybe the relationship was already over at that point in time. I don't know. I don't know all of the details of it. But from to me, what it goes to show you is that women are just like men. You have these women talk about men in the workplace and how bad we are. But you have women that do similar things. When people get in positions of power, or people, period, people are people, and that's what I want the world to understand. People do people stuff. You can't look at men and say men are this, and you can't look at women and say women are that. People do people type things. This woman saw a man that she wanted, and whether he was married at the time or not, and people can say, oh, well, maybe he fed her, he lied to her, because women always have an excuse to get a woman off the hook, like she was groomed, even though she's a 30-something-year-old woman who's smart enough to pass the bar, smart enough to become district attorney. They're always a victim. But when you do mistakes like this and there's someone's calling for her to be removed from office, from her position, it just goes to show you that people just don't make sound decisions. There was another female that just, matter of fact, she was in the law profession as well. She had a suit filed against her for wrongful termination, and the guy got his job back. And the woman had to go through, I think, a certain amount of hours of sexual harassment training. People do people things. You watch these teachers. Remember that back in the day, people don't remember this, but I do. I was young, but I still remember the fact that back in the day, and people, if you remember this, put this in the comment section. They used to say that men could not be, you know, taken advantage of without their will. What do the R word? I'm not going to say the R word, but cannot be. You can't force intimate relations on a man, because if his thing gets erect or aroused, that means he wanted to participate. That was the whole big thing, and that was a thing back in the day. Look it up. Maybe that goes to show you the times that we were living in. And but you see all of these female teachers being in relationships with young boys, and they don't get half the time that the men get. They just don't get it. So I'm just basically saying that, is this the path that young women want to go down? Do you want, like, you look at the news today. The news is full of, like, when you see a bunch of these carjackings that are taking place, some of them are females. And it's noticeable. Like, you're looking like, wow, these females are jacking people now. you know and when you look at these store bum rushes, when people are bum rushing these stores and doing smash and grabs, these crimes are being committed by females a lot. Just as they're being committed by males too. But what I'm trying to say is, do women want that right? The more and more you go down this path of wanting to compete with a man and be like men, do you want to do this type of stuff? Do you want to just be able to sleep with anybody and everybody and think that, it's freedom for you? It's just very concerning. So just the Fani Willis, I'm not, like I said, I'm not blaming her for anything. I don't know the circumstances behind it. All I'm just basically pointing out to people is, if you want to talk about one situation for those people, and it may not be people that are watching this, but some people, if you want to talk about, like, oh, well, men, look at Harvey Weinstein and look at this Russell Simmons, and, they want to throw around these names like these people abuse their position. This guy that Fani was with, he could have probably come out if he wanted to get off. He could have played the victim card, but he's not. He owns up. He's holding accountability, possibly. But we do what we do. That's one of the difference between men and women. We don't shy down, and we don't use the victim card. We stand and say we did this, and we own up to it. I was watching a video just the other day. It was an old broadcast from a former adult actress, and she was basically talking about she was a victim. The people on camera, we're all victims. But then in the same breath, well, not in when the very next breath, she was saying, yeah, I loved every minute of it, and I loved what I used to do, and I loved it. So what is it? Are you a victim? When you say you're a victim, did somebody force you to do this? So you can't look back at the things that you've done and then realize, oh damn, I was a dumb to do that, or that was a stupid thing for me to do. I was a victim. I didn't know better. Because we all could say that. Own up to what you do and keep it moving. And, Fanny, I just saw her, she was at some church, and, of course, she had to throw the sister card out there, like, don't expect black women to save the world. And, maybe that was a comment for the other folks, because we don't expect, us as black folks, we don't expect us to save the world and be superheroes. But, this is cause too for why black women should not want to separate themselves from black men. And black men should not want to separate themselves from black women, but we're not really doing that. It's really the other way around. Black women want to be a whole different category. So that way, we all stand together. And so, once again, I think, she was caught in a situation, and, she'll learn and she'll grow from this situation. And, but it's, and it seems as though she's taking accountability. She's not basically saying one way or another, but she's also a lawyer. So she knows she knows, what she's saying, and she's being smart to say and divulge what she wants to divulge, and being choosy with her words. So I commend her for that. But yeah, stand on principle, have accountability. But then also, this is a learning moment for not just her, but for all of us, to say that we all, men, women, all various nationalities, all various ethnicities, we all have flaws. We all have good points, but let's stop beating each other up on the internet. This is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out.